Hey guys, what's going on? So, as you know, the number seven has been very important to me. A lot of things where God has been using the number seven, from verses to um, revealing to me certain things. And funny enough, it's seven here as well. It always represents completeness, like the 7 days of the week, seven colors of the rainbow, seven churches in Revelation, etc. Okay, so I wanted to make this video because I want to guide you through pretty much one of the most important exercises I have done that have allowed me to go to that next level, to better my relationships, better my career, better my personal goals, um, even make more money and be able to travel and do fun stuff. So I want to make sure that you guys get this because I have paid a lot of money, thousands of dollars in the past, of getting different variations of this. And in full transparency, the one that has got me the most excited, or to at least tackle it, because I've done this many times, I've failed many times, and I want to kind of give you like the best, like, put together stuff that I found. I love the book from Tony Robbins, and I'm gonna kind of guide you through like a few pages right here. This might be a little bit long, guys. The first time, but I guarantee you it's worth your time. And most likely than not, if you're in a place right now where you're anxious, is because you don't have clarity. Okay, clarity gets us into anxiousness, into worriness. There's a lot of things in your life that you're just magically just waiting to get resolved without actually putting it on paper, like defining it. The classic example is, the college student or the university student that goes into a career, that goes into a field because they don't know what they want to do yet. Have you guys heard of that? Or have you been that? I certainly have gone through a lot of, like, I thought I wanted this, but now I'm realizing this, or I thought this was my path or my career, and now I'm realizing this, right? And you will go through those changes. I believe it's normal. It shapes you, right? But if we can get clarity, early on in the game, then we are able to at least be so much more intentional about the decisions we make on a day-to-day basis. So let's get started. I've divided it in these categories because I believe those are like, but basically where everything comes together. Like I don't think there's an area in life missing here. Like everything gets tackled and everything is important. But there is a level of importance, and I think I've done a pretty decent job of putting them in the right order. Okay. So number one is spiritual goals. Okay. That deals with your intimacy with God. Okay. This is not just going to church. This is not just like serving, in the church. Actually, it's here, so I've actually divided those two. And that's something that actually Tony Robbins didn't do. I wanted to get them a little bit more clear. Some of these ones he like, bundled. So anyways, we'll get there. But spiritual goals deals with your intimacy of God. Like this is literally directly linked to time. Okay. If you don't spend time with God, if you don't spend time reading his word, in prayer, in worship, you will not grow spiritually. You will not. And I can guarantee you that because I've tried that. Okay. You will maybe feel like you're growing when certain things happen, when certain signs, quote unquote, happen. But in reality is you are not growing because you need to be intimate and relational with God. Okay, so hopefully that one's correct and clear and established in your mind. Okay, number two, personal goals. Okay, super important, deals with your body, your mind, your heart, your talents, and skills. Okay, um, one thing we've been studying a lot is the concept of the spirit, you know, and the concept of the soul, which deals with it. As you see it, once again, the spirit is higher than. Always remember that the tree of life is higher than the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Okay, just remember that. Same with heaven and earth. Heaven is above earth, right? Okay, three, relationships. This deals with all your relationships, all people around you, romantic relationships, friends, family, co-workers, strangers, relatives, mother, father, sister. Okay. all everything to do with relationships. Okay, so what we're gonna do in this exercise is you're gonna kind of evaluate or measure or calibrate, where you believe you are right now. And actually, I recommend you do it like past, present, future. Okay, I'll just put here that note. Either way, if anyone wants to do videos like this, I mean, this is free. You guys can do that. Loom, I'm using Loom. That's free as well. Just letting you guys know. So yeah, like, evaluate where were you a few years ago, even 2, 3, 5 years, whatever you want to do, where you are now and where you actually want to go. Because when we start reviewing this, we're like, you know what, I'm not, content with my boyfriend or girlfriend. Like, I'm not, right? Or, hey, I'm not comfortable where am I in my body, or some talents, or maybe I want to learn a new language, maybe I stopped learning something that I wanted to learn, and you start realizing things, and you're like, man, like all of a sudden life, like, oh, like it gets revitalized because this is actually what you want, and not just you're not just being pushed from one side to side by life. 4, career/work. This is your day-to-day toil. Okay, even before the fall of Adam and Eve, we already were commanded to work. Okay, we were already made for work, like subduing the earth. It was a different type of work. It didn't cause us. Anyways, I won't get into that. That's a whole thing. But anyways, this is your work, your career. Okay. Um, Let me just say quickly, for there's some people here that will be separate, ministry, or like the Christian stuff, than the work. Just like Paul, Paul was a tent maker. He made tents like on the side, and then he full time was doing ministry. He kind of like doubled it, and that's totally okay. Other people will have it in like one, right? So for example, life coaches have it all kind of like in one, like they just kind of build their business kind of around it. I'm starting to do that actually, which is kind of cool, where like just I'm shaping the business like more based around my own skills, my own preferences in certain things, more so than me adapting to it. So anyway, that's another one. But regardless, that is your work, your day-to-day toil. 5, your contribution goals. Okay, this is how are you going to make an impact outside of yourself? You need to be doing this. This is a spiritual need. For a long time I went by and I was not serving. I was not serving. I was not making an impact. I was not contributing to anyone really outside of myself. That's why I put that. You need to be volunteering. You need to be serving at the church. You need to be, I'm not saying all of them. I'm saying you need to do at least one, at least something here. You need to define something here. 6, finances and stuff. Of course, here we actually put actual figures and numbers and say, God, like I want to make, $100,000 this year, or I want to make $10,000 this month, or I want to make whatever it is. But you need to like actually establish it. And same thing, like past, present, future. Like where were you a few years ago? How much do you make now? How much do you want to make in the future? Just kind of establish that. So that's that. And of course, toys and material stuff, guys. Okay, like let me just shatter this once and for all. Money, um, things, material things are just tools, guys. Like they don't have, value in the life we live. Um, in the heavenly citizenship, in the heaven bounded life, kingdom driven mindset, faith driven mindset. Okay, so but having said that, we also recognize that we are still in this body, in this earth. So I do believe that God wants us to have, certain things that He has allowed us to create for our enjoyment. I was talking to a buddy of mine, and he like subscribed, or became a member of a gym. And I believe, like with all my heart, like that's totally cool. Of course, like you need to take care of your body, right? And you need to take care of your mind, your heart. And it's a really cool gym. He invited me. We went to the well, not spa, the hot tub, like next to the pool, and then they had like a steam room, and like I don't believe those things are bad. Like remember, guys, it's not money that is the root of all evil. Is the love of money. that is the root of all evil. When you have greed in your heart, of course, this stuff becomes bad, not because of the stuff itself, but what's in the heart. Remember, Jesus said that there's nothing that, contaminates man that comes from the outside. It's our evil heart, our wicked heart. Anyways, look at the other video on sin. But yes, you need to put those. Like, hey, I want to give my parents a house, or I want to buy a new home, downsizing, upsizing. Yeah, I mean, honestly, this is where you put that stuff. And then fun and an adventure. I really think, again, like, life is balanced. You can't just be working all the time. You gotta have fun. Hobbies, experiences, bucket list. Where do you want to travel? What do you want to do? What kind of things do you want to, sign up for that might be just fun, like a sport or like a class of some sort? That's cool, guys. Make time for that too. Okay. So how do you actually do this? Okay. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to read to you guys a little bit about this stuff. Okay. For each of this, the ones I mentioned, because again, he makes it into this 4. Okay. I think 7 is the key. For each of this, you'll have a set period of time. Okay. So you have a set period of time in which to brainstorm. Write rapidly. Keep your pen moving. Don't censor yourself. Just get it all down on paper. Okay. So all down on paper, and you're going to have 7 minutes. Yes, you're going to have 7 minutes. Put on a timer / alarm. But here's the key. Ask yourself, what would I want for my life if I knew I could have it any way I want? If you knew you could have it all, okay? And this might be obviously hard, for some people to do, because again, like, your mind's going to be screaming at you like, oh, this doesn't make sense. Like, I don't know how. Stop asking yourself how. Just put this stuff down. Switch from like your, creative. Let me show you a cool image. Wow, that looks sick. Yeah, so you get your analytical side. Okay, that's all your science, your numbers, your calculations, your operations, your how, the plan, all that. And you get the creative too, which is all this, when you're just creating something, art and music and poetry so I want you to think here. I want you to come to this side, because for certain things it's cool. God, of course, is giving us that part, but the balance, right? And in this exercise right now, it's time for the right. Because if not, you won't be able to do it. All right. So ask yourself, what would I want for my life? I knew I could have it any way I want it. Okay. Don't question your capability. Okay. And of course, you can pause this video at any time and like read as I scroll through like these pages, right? But yeah, do your spiritual ones first. Then you're gonna go into personal development. Personal development now, like, here are just some questions. It says, what would you like to learn? Oh, by the way, I said 5 minutes because I felt that for some it was a little short. So 7, I think, is key. Once again, what would you like to learn? What are some skills you want to master in your lifetime? What are some character traits you like to develop? Who do you want your friends to be? Who do you want to be? And you see, he skipped right to this one, but I do believe that the spiritual goals are so much more important, and a lot of people don't make them. Like spiritual goals, like, getting certain fruit of the spirit. Like, it's okay, guys. It's okay to ask God to give you a gifting of the Holy Spirit, such as it says in 1 Corinthians 12. Asking God for a gift of wisdom, a gift of faith, a gift of knowledge, a gift of tongues. It's okay. You can do it. You can ask God for that. You can make yourself, not goals in this case, but goals of where you would like to be, which is faith, guys. We're applying faith in here. And also evaluate your relationship with God. At what level is it right now? And where do you want it to be? How do you want to feel about it? Okay, let's keep going. What could you do for your physical well-being? Get a massage like, what is it? Just brainstorm. Just put all the stuff in one column for that category. Join a gym, public speaking, you want to speak a different language, study the Dead Sea Scrolls, dance, you want to sing, what do you want to do? Okay, step two. Write down a timeline of when you want to achieve this. Okay, so like, imagine that you had you have like your goals here, and you say maybe something like, I want to become a pastor. Okay, let's just put that one. I want to become a missionary. Okay, or I want to become a um, church worship leader. Or hey, maybe your spiritual goals have more to do with the way you're doing life. That's also good too. I'm not saying that's necessarily the goal. So for example, me, like I don't want to be a pastor. I don't believe that's my calling in the regular sense, but yet I love speaking, I love like leadership, I love education, right? So it could be something like that where you maybe your goal is just more to hold on to the Lord, to abide in Him. Okay, let's say that your goal is to abide in Him, to trust Him like every day, to be at peace. That's totally cool. You can put any of those goals. Then you're gonna write a timeline. Okay, so you write your goals, you write your timelines, and that's why this one's different, guys. Different. If you've done this in the past and failed, it's okay. You probably didn't have the right system or the right drive for it. But we're gonna get rid of that hopefully here. So pastor or abiding in Him or whatever spiritual goals or any of these ones, you'll do the same. Okay. Again, say you wanna sing or become a singer, or you wanna become a YouTube star. It's okay, guys. Put on these goals. Put them on. Okay, and then say, hey, 3 months for this one, or no, you know what? This one is 1 year. 1 year. No, this one, you know what? I think I can do this in 6 months. Right? Just do that. Okay? Put on a timeline for it. 3 months, 6 months, 5 years, etc. Step 3, choose the one most important goal out of them when you're done. Okay? Don't skip. Just brainstorm, like do 10, 20, 30, 40, like as many as you can think of in that time. Like don't think about it for too long on each one. Like you should have like bulk. You want to just like start putting your idea. Just like imagine everything is possible. Just put them on and choose the one most important goal and write a paragraph. Okay, it's key to write a paragraph. Like I'm telling you, this exercise unlocks so much. And ask yourself, why am I committed to this? Okay, why am I committed to this? And of course, time it as well. Time it. I believe you should be timing everything. Maybe you should do 7 minutes, 7 minutes, 7 minutes. Maybe if you want to keep it like that, why not? Right? Because we need to force ourselves to put it, because if not, what ends up happening is that you say, hey, like that's why I'm timing it, guys. It's not just for fun. Like it's not optional either. Okay. If you don't time it, what happens is your brain will start like trying to tackle the problem from so many different angles, and it will get frustrated because you don't know how to do it. And then you'll say, maybe I'm just not inspired right now. Your brain will form like a false logic or a fallacy or stronghold. Literally, you will just put it to the side and nothing will happen. No change will happen. And everything fails. Okay? So time yourself, put on that, and remember that goals are dreams with deadline. Okay? Key to remember this. And again, as you write the single most important one, write a paragraph. Write a paragraph and tell yourself, like, why is this compelling to you? Why are you committed to it? What will you gain by achieving it? What would you miss out if you didn't achieve it? Okay, write these questions down, answer them. And again, you're just writing one paragraph, this paragraph, but maybe before you start and you time yourself, you just read these questions carefully. Okay, then click, and then you start and you just write like, why is this so compelling? What will you gain by achieving? What would you miss out if you didn't achieve it? Okay, we're trying to get leverage here, guys. We're trying to associate like more pain to the fact of not achieving these goals. This reason's strong enough to get you to actually follow through. Because if you don't think these reasons are enough, if they're like crappy, like crappy wise, like, because I don't know, like I wanna, man, I can't even think of one, but because it depends on each person, of course, but you know what I'm saying. Like if it's just like something like so blah, like so, like sometimes people wanna have a better career because it's like, oh, it just gives me something to do. Like, that's not a good reason, guys. Okay, that's not a strong enough reason. It should be like, man, because my family, really counts on it, or because God really counts on that for me, or hey, I need to do this for myself. Like, it needs to be like something powerful. Okay, if not, either come up with a better goal or a better reason. Okay, this is key as well. Please. The most important distinction that I made about goals years ago was that if I had a big enough why to do something, that's why start with why, as Simon Sinek says, a strong enough set of reasons, I could always figure out how to achieve it. Always, always, always. Your success mechanism, your mind, your spirit, like the way God created you, will start to align so much better once you have goals. Remember, it says in Proverbs, like, my people perish without a vision. Without any vision, yeah. Goals alone can inspire, but knowing the deepest reasons why you want them in the first place can provide you with the long-lasting drive. Because how many times have you done maybe the exercises like this, but like nothing happens because there's no why that is strong enough. Okay, and the motivation necessary to persist and achieve. Okay, same deal with your economic goals. Again, you can just kind of pause this video, you know, read it more carefully if you want to go deeper. Okay. For all of them, same thing. Now we're, toys and adventure. Again, he combined toys there. I think toys should be in finance, in the like finance and stuff. I think it's just easier to kind of quantify. Yeah, just like a ton of ideas there. Okay, contribution goals, interesting. Would you help build a shelter for the homeless, adopt a child, volunteer at a soup kitchen, read to the blind, visit a man or woman serving a prison sentence, volunteer with a Peace Corps for 6 months, take balloons to all folks' home? How could you help to protect the ozone layer, clean up the oceans, eliminate racial discrimination, halt the destruction of the rainforest? What could you create? Would you come up with a perpetual motion machine, develop a car that runs on garbage, design a system for distributing food to all hunger? Okay? Really amazing, really awesome stuff, guys. Okay? There's nothing like dream to create the future. Utopia today, flesh and blood tomorrow. Victor Hugo. All right. So how do you make your goals real? Okay. This part is key. Okay. So hopefully, you obviously pause this video and like, go do it. I believe it'll take you maybe around 1 hour. So you might want to schedule that sometime. Just to do them properly, because again, in between each exercise, might take you more, honestly. Depends on how clear you are. But just even if it's just one that you write, guys, like do it. Okay. To ensure the absolute attainment of your goals, you must condition your nervous system. Okay, this is key, guys. This is not a oh yeah, positive thinking or some like BS like that. Like, you can actually condition your nervous system. You can explore this for yourself. It's a science. It says that when you repeat certain activities with enough emotional intensity, with enough focus, you start to condition. That's the whole aspect of habit. So must condition your nervous system in advance to feel the pleasure they will surely bring. In other words, at least twice a day, guys, at least twice a day. Okay, this is also key. It's repetition. At least twice a day, you must rehearse and emotionally enjoy the experience of achieving each one of your most valued goals. Each time you do this, you need to create more emotional joy as you see, feel, and hear yourself living your dream. Okay, as you see, feel, and hear yourself living your dream. Oh, sorry, and hear yourself living your dream. Yeah. I can't tell you how key this has been in just like imagining, closing your eyes for a few minutes and imagining each goal, how that would look like in your mind, making like a mental image, or even writing it down, like in detail, maybe drawing it if that's what you can do, even if it's with stick figures. But yes, this helps a lot. This continuous focus will create a neural pathway, guys. This is what we're trying to do. When you condition your nervous system, you condition your brain. Okay, your brain has like wiring, and when you do certain things, it rewires, guys. This is an actual science. Like I said, you can look it up. Want this is again just something that you can train yourself to do. There's whole books about it. Okay, so anyways, just wanted to make sure you guys are like, oh, no, no, that's not true. Like, yeah, it is true. It's true. So you want to condition yourself. You want to create a neural pathway between where you are and where you want to go. Okay, once again, this is that substance of faith that we spoke of. Substance of things hoped for in Hebrews 11:1. Because of this intense conditioning, you'll find yourself feeling a sense of absolute certainty that you'll achieve your desires. And this certainty will translate into a quality of action that ensures your success. Your confidence will allow you to attract the appropriate coaches and role models who will guide you in taking the most effective actions to produce results quickly, rather than the traditional trial and error method that can take decades or more. Okay, this right here, guys, is why I tell you that like my life has been transformed, because yes, I started pairing with the right people, pairing with the right information, and it's allowing me to, push through a ton of challenges and things. So again, the purpose of the goal. Often, as we pursue our goals, we fail to realize their true impact on the environment around us. We think that achieving our goal is the end. Okay, it is not the end. I've talked about this before. But if we had a greater understanding, we realize that often in the pursuit of our goals, we set in motion processional effects that have consequences even more far reaching than we ever intended. After all, does the honeybee deliberately propagate flowers? Of course not. But in the process of seeking the sweet nectar from the flowers, a bee will invariably pick up pollen on its legs, fly to the next flower, and set in motion a chain of pollination that will result in a hillside awash in color. This guy's right here. hmm How amazing, eh? How God's created everything. And I believe it's the same with us. The businessman pursues profit, and in so doing can create jobs that offer people a chance for incredible personal growth and an increase in the quality of life. The process of earning a livelihood enables people to meet such goals as putting their kids through college. Children in turn contribute by becoming doctors, lawyers, artists, businessmen, scientists, and parents. The chain is never ending. Goals are a means to an end, not the ultimate purpose of your life. Remember that, guys. Remember that. They are simply a tool to concentrate our focus and move us in a direction. The only reason we really pursue goals is to cause ourselves to expand and grow. Achieving goals by themselves will never make us happy, okay? The goal is not the happiness, is who you become as you overcome the obstacles necessary to achieve your goals that can give you the deepest and most long-lasting sense of fulfillment. Read this like 100 times, not even exaggerating, because it's hard to understand this concept. Like, you need to understand it to get to that next level that you're looking for. So maybe the key question you and I need to ask is, what kind of person will I have to become in order to achieve all that I want? It's maybe the most important question that you can ask yourself, for its answer will determine the direction you need to go to head personally. So the last part of the exercise is this. This one, I wouldn't time it. This is the only one I wouldn't time, because I want you to take as much time as you need, but you need to do it. This may be the most important question that you can ask yourself, for its answer will determine the direction you need to head personally. Let's take a moment now and write a paragraph describing all the character traits, skills, abilities, attitudes, and beliefs that you would need to develop in order to achieve all of the goals you've written down previously. Okay, just quick. This is why Paul said this. This is why Paul got this, like boss. Not that I have already obtained all of this or have already arrived at my goal, but I press on to take hold of that for which Christ Jesus took hold of me. Oof, so much truth in this. Okay? Same thing. This is the same concept. Certainly, you'll have to take action to achieve those goals. But what qualities will you need to have as a person in order to turn this invisible set of commitments into your visible reality? Before going on, take a moment right now and write this paragraph. The kind of person I need to become in order to achieve all that I want. Then, pause this video, do that, and then move on to this last one, the most important step. For years, I had set goals and not follow through. I get inspired in the moment, get all pumped up, but 3 weeks later, I noticed I wasn't following through on anything I written down. Okay, this happens so much in like New Year's resolutions, stuff like that. That's why people stop even doing them altogether because they get discouraged. But they're just not doing them right. You need to share this video with them. Writing a goal is certainly the first step, and most people don't even do that. Just the action of committing your ideas to paper begins to make them more real. But the most important thing you can do to achieve your goals is to make sure that as soon as you set them, you immediately begin to create momentum. The most important rules that I have ever adopted to help me in achieving my goals were those I learned from a very successful man who taught me to first write down the goal and then to never leave the sight of setting a goal without first taking some form of positive action towards its attainment. As this pops in, I love it. Stop. That's so funny. As I emphasize in chapter 2, a true decision is one that you can act upon and one that you can act upon now. Use the momentum, guys, you built up in coming up with your top 7 1-year goals. The most powerful way to continue this momentum is to take immediate action as soon as you finish this chapter. Even the smallest step, a phone call, a commitment, sketching out an initial plan, will move you forward. Then develop a list of simple things you can do every day for the next 10 days. I can promise you that 10 days of small actions in the direction of your goals will begin to create a chain of habits that will ensure long-term success. That's it, guys. That's the key. That's the key. Literally just giving it to you guys right now for absolutely like no charge whatsoever. I need you guys to get this because I want you guys to win. It's not about me. It's about us doing what we need to do and who we need to become. If your number one personal development goal for the next year is to learn jazz dancing, for instance, let your fingers do the walking through those yellow pages today, or well, in this case, not yellow pages. Book was written a long time ago, but the internet, Call the dance studio for a schedule, enroll in a class. If your top toy/adventure is a Mercedes-Benz, maybe call your local dealership for a brochure or visit this afternoon and take a test drive. I'm not saying that you need to buy it today, but at least find out what the cost is or drive it so it can become more real. Your intensified desire, remember this, guys, this is key too. Your intensified desire will help you to start putting together a plan. Okay? Anyways, you can keep reading, as we said, at least 2 times a day. So ideally, look at them, after you write them down, paste them, like put them somewhere, hang them somewhere. I literally just like tape them to my wall, like in my room, and I look at them like twice in the morning and once at night. Just read them. It should be small. It should take you like a couple minutes. Review your entire list every 6 months to ensure that your goals stay vital. You may want to go through the brainstorming process again in order to create some new goals. And I'm sure you'll want to add and delete goals as your life takes on exciting new shape. Okay, once again, you can read this, but that's essentially it, guys. Okay, so I really hope you guys take the time to do this. Remember, you write down and you brainstorm each category. So 7 minutes, 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 and you write down, just brainstorm. Like, I want this with God, this intimacy. You just make a list, Like, you might keep it to a very small sentence, like, let's just say personal. I want to learn jazz. I want to travel to Greece. I like that, okay? Relationships, career and work, contribution goals, finances and stuff, and an adventure, okay? So you write that down, then you write a timeline for each, like this. Okay. Then write down a timeline. Then you choose the most important goal. Okay, the most important goal, which will most likely be something that's 1 year, or less, that you want to achieve it, because that's usually what's on our minds. And you write a paragraph, and as we said, the why. If you need to go back to this video, rewind, like do that, just to get it clear. And then lastly, as we said, we write down a paragraph, who we need to become. Okay, so this deals with two things, guys. Very key, as we've been talking about. This deals with identity and the vision. Okay, these two are giant crushers, I call them. And this is basically um, where I'm doing a lot of my day to day now, and kind of how I'm planning my life. So yeah, write down a paragraph of who you need to become, and then last step. It's funny because I said I said 3 steps. It wasn't 3 steps. It was 5 steps. Do you think we should make 6 the whole taking the first step? I think so, right? Okay, so I guess it's not 5 either. All right, we might have to do a 7. No, I'm kidding. Okay, no, that one doesn't have 7. I think that's it, right? Yeah. You just see. It says the most important rules that I ever adopted. Yeah, a commitment. Yeah, just taking that first step. Yeah, I think that's it. Well, just because I'm obsessed with 7, I'll put the last one, which is review them every 3 to 6 months. Sweet, guys. So there we go. There you guys have it. Hope you do this exercise. It's honestly very life changing, and it gives you a ton of clarity. And it also basically illuminates a lot of the pain that you might be having, because you might get to some of this ones and be like, wow, I don't have it clear, I have no clue. And then that might get you into like more anxiousness. But just pace yourself, like get yourself to at least put something and like pray about it. Like I really encourage you that even if you don't think of something so clear, you're struggling with it, that you still just take a time, like 7 minutes or whatever, and just put something down, even if it seems silly. Like, I do believe that as you are starting to even take the first steps on this goal, even if you only put one out of all of this, as you pray and as you, like, again, like prioritizing this one always, 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 will really, really allow you to start getting more clarity as God gives you more wisdom and knowledge on everything, as you're taking the first step. But remember, guys, it's not about the goal, it's about who you're becoming. It's about the identity. It's about really your heart, ultimately, your soul, ultimately. Okay, so that's it. Take it easy. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.